What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're looking to get your music reviewed, you can hit up this email that's right here. But today, I'm going to hit you up with some thoughts and opinions on Evidence's third studio album called Whether or Not. Evidence is a rapper from Los Angeles who's been active since the 90s, and even though I'm not too sure about all of his solo work, I haven't really checked all that out, I am familiar with some of the work that he's done as part of the group Dilated Peoples. In particular, I really like that album Neighborhood Watch. He had some dope Kanye production on there. I really like that track This Way, and Poisonous with Devin the Dude was another personal favorite. So I know Evidence is no slouch when it comes to the bars, and he's really giving you what you want on this project. If you've listened to him before, either as a solo artist or, as part of Dilated Peoples, you really know you're going to get some nice hard-hitting boom bap shit with soul samples. You're not going to get trap shit on here, all kinds of 808 drums and those sorts of things. And you know this just by looking at the track list. You're going to see guys like DJ Premier and Knots on there, so, there's all kinds of flames, including The Alchemist. As usual, I got a bunch of notes here, so we're just going to go down the list and basically talk about some of the songs I really like, starting off with that track Jim Dean. This one is produced by Knots, who came through with a boom bap banger. You're going to get some really nice vocal samples and a slinky bass line on this one. And then he produced the track Bad Publicity as well. This one just has drums heavier than the people you're going to see on My 600-Pound Life, which is pretty damn heavy. Have you ever seen that shit, man? You ever see that? They're sitting back in their bed, they're like frying chicken on their chest while someone's dangling gummy worms in their mouth. Shit is crazy. So those drums are heavy. I really like when you get that sort of sound on some of these projects. You know what I mean? Just drums that really you can feel them in your chest. You also get some nice keys on this thing and a raspy hook from Crondon. So right out of the gate, these were two of my favorite tracks. I like the production on there, and Evidence is just flowing his ass off all over this project. He really has that very natural rap style where he sounds smooth and not like he's forcing things. Those are the type of MCs I really like to listen to, you know what I mean? You can picture them just kick back, spitting their shit, and riding the beat perfectly. So shout out to Evidence for what he did on this project. But since I am on the topic of beats here, before I get into the content, I also got to shout out Twiz, who came through with this very smooth and tranquil vibe on the song Raindrops. This one sounds like some shit you could sit back and meditate to, especially with the rain falling in the background. But the single produced by Alchemist called Throw It All Away is easily one of my favorite tracks. There's a little bit of a nighttime vibe to this because you get this sound that kind of, I guess it's bells or maybe it's some sort of key. I'm not sure. Sometimes it's hard to tell, but I'm going to say bells because that's what it sounded like to me. And as you listen through this track, you're going to pick up on some of the album's main themes. Throughout this project and on this song, Alchemist is just sharing some experiences, dropping wisdom and gems, and speaking on the rap game. In particular, there's one line on here that stuck out to me. He says that you shouldn't take your fans for granted like the money is due. Or as I took it, just be thankful for your damn fans in the first place because they choose to support you, man. Don't be out here trying to play games with your fans because they love what you're doing and they're giving you that support. Then on Whether or Not, he follows up by saying you should love your fans and like the label, but everything that he's doing for himself, man. He says he ain't making shit for neither, so lay that on the table. That is just another dope line. There are all kinds of quotables all over this project, and what I like about that line is that he's still showing love to his fans, he's appreciative for what his label is doing for him, but at the end of the day, he's got to stick to his vision and make the music he wants to make. And that's why it comes out so dope, because he's keeping it real, man. He's not just following trends or anything like that. Now, Evidence continues to drop gems on the song 10,000 Hours, where he speaks on some of the doubts that he had early on in his career. This one is another boom bap banger produced by DJ Premier. As I said, you got some nice names on here coming through with that fire-ass work. And I especially like on here when he spits about separating himself from people who are violent or criminal. That's a very important lesson, man. Whenever you're doing anything, whether it's on a big scale or a small scale, you really got to pay attention to the people that you're surrounded by. He didn't want to have a bunch of crazy motherfuckers around him shooting places up like Dick Tracy villains. You remember Dick Tracy? All those villains were weird. Like they'd be called the Forehead because they had a big forehead. They call, maybe Little Thumb because they had a small thumb or some shit. Been a while since I watched Dick Tracy, but that's a classic, man. The Man in the Yellow Suit. Not to be confused with the Man in the Yellow Hat from Curious George, since we're getting on some references. But he actually touches on the same sort of idea on the song called Love is a Funny Thing. Again, he's speaking on the people who are all around you, and on this track, he's joined by Rhapsody and Styles P. They're all just wondering if the people around them love them for who they are, or if they just want to ride along and, enjoy the success that they're enjoying, see some of those finer things, you know what I mean? So there is a great amount of songs on this project. I like the Crisis hook on this as well. It fits nicely with the very smooth beat. So this track to me was one of the more gentle cuts, and I really do like it. I like how everyone brought their own unique sound to the track. And on the topic of features, there are some other pretty dope ones on here. I especially like John Wayne on To Make a Long Story Longer. This one is another throwback beat. It really just has that vintage vibe. And he and Evidence are just going deep on this one, man. You got Evidence reflecting on how rap has been like therapy to him through all the shit he's gone through, including growing up without a father and trying to teach himself to become a man. And then John Wayne has some pretty funny lines on here. He looks back at when he first started making Fruity Loops beats on his mom's laptop, and he also refers to himself as the rap game Rum Ham. Myself, I'm a big fan, obviously, of the Eagles, but I also fuck with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. D, you are a bitch. Moving on though, the most heart-wrenching song on here by far has got to be By My Side Too. You get some nice vocal sample production on this one, and Evidence is telling the story of how his wife discovered cancer in her breast. This one really is just going to hit home, and I thought it was very interesting how she found out about it because when she was breastfeeding her son, she felt a lump. Evidence says that in some weird sort of way, it was like he was sent there to help her and to sort of discover this lump. Otherwise, she might not have known about it, you know what I mean? But the baby being there on the breast really helped her find that. So I just thought that was very interesting, man. Very powerful song, very short, and the beat on there is nice as well. So there you have it, man. I think this is a really dope project. I'm going to go with a 4 out of 5 because I just like so many things about it. You get some of that classic boom bap production, some nice samples, great flows, great features. I don't have a whole lot of complaints, so I hope you like it too. Now, I did pick the song Runners as my least favorite track, but it still really isn't even that bad. I just thought it was kind of dull in comparison to some of these other songs. All it is just Evidence and Defari going back and forth with the bars. So it is what it is. I got to pick a least favorite for you, and that was the chosen one. But all that said, thank you for watching. I want to know what you guys think, so hit me up in the comment section with your thoughts on this music. And of course, man, check me out on all my social media sites. You know where I'm at, so show me love and show me lots of it. Thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you next time.